So this video, let's get that background going here. Pick one at random. All right. This video we'll talk about warranties. Um, there's many different types of warranties, and as a new owner operator or a company driver who's thinking about becoming an owner operator, you got to pay attention to the warranties. And there's a lot of variation from the types of warranties. So briefly, there's a national warranty that you can go anywhere in the country. This is typically a warranty offered by Freightliner repair. For example, let's say you have um, your DEF pump replaced at Freightliner. That will come with a national 1-year warranty. So if you go anywhere in the country and it's not working right, you go back in and it's covered under warranty. Okay, that's perfectly good and fine. Then there's what's called a local warranty. So let's say you get your DEF pump, same type of repair, but instead of getting it done at a dealership like Freightliner, you get it done at your local repair shop. It's something like you know Joe's Joe's local diesel repair. Okay, so he'll give you a 30-day warranty, but if you have a problem, you need to bring it back to his shop. Well, that doesn't do you any good because you may be a national over-the-road driver, and the odds are within 30 days you'll be 3,000 miles away from Joe's local repair shop. So you have to give that some thought when you're going to get your truck repaired. Is okay. Not only do I want it done quickly, but I want that warranty. So Freightliner, for example, may have a 2-week wait time, but Joe's local repair shop can get you in and out in 2 days. And it's like, well, I really got to think about that warranty. How bad do I want that warranty? Because you might, under certain circumstances, go to local Joe's rather than going to Freightliner. Although I would not recommend it, even if he is the greatest mechanic. It's just that it's really hard to beat that national warranty. So then you also have product warranty. So let's say you have a part that you bought, and I don't know. This is not. Let's say it's not the DEF pump. It's let's say it's the fuel pump. And the fuel pump itself is defective, and so that it could be under a manufacturer's warranty. Now, the manufacturer's warranty is always something along the line of, they guarantee that the part is built with quality care and durability, and if it fails, within such a period of time, then they'll cover it under manufacturer's warranty. So we talked about national 1-year warranty. We talked about a local warranty, and we talked about product warranty. Now, with Freightliner, and I think with most other types of makes, whether it's Peterbilt or Kenworth, they also come with extended warranty. And these extended warranties are worth every penny that they cost. For example, Freightliner has extended warranty up to 750,000 miles, and it covers the major engine components and the after treatment system. All the way up 750,000 miles, 7 years from the manufacturing date, or 750,000 miles. Okay, that's gold. That is pure gold, because you will have breakdowns. Just like, for example, if you had to replace your entire DEF system, that could be 10 grand right there. That if you didn't have a warranty, you would have to pay out of pocket. And believe me, I paid that before in my old truck. I had a 2012 Freightliner, and I paid that. It also covers the one box, which is your after treatment system. That could cost over 10 grand, and I paid that too, my old truck. So right there, That's like $20,000 worth of repairs. Then it'll cover your fuel pump, it'll cover your turbo, it'll cover major engine components. So if there's something that comes up, it'll cover it. National 1 year or national extended warranty. And you take it to any Freightliner, and they have a whole list of things that'll be covered under warranty. And when you go into Freightliner, you always want to ask, is this under warranty? So they'll check. They probably won't tell you right away, but it depends on what the diesel tech finds, and more than likely, it could be under warranty. There are a few exceptions. I found out that the radiator, for example, is not under warranty because they consider the radiator part of the frame. And even in my newer truck, my 2019 126 model, when I cracked the radiator in that, I had to get towed, and I had to buy a new radiator, several $1,000s, and it was not under warranty. So, you definitely want to learn as much about the warranty as you possibly can. And I'll wrap things up. I'll give you a story, a horror story. Um, Before the Cascadia 126 models, you had the Cascadia 125 models, and they were, you know, they were known for having problems. They had a lot of problems with the after treatment system, for example, and they did not have the Daimler extended warranty program back then. They you could purchase something called a warrant. You could purchase a warranty called True North. I think it was called True North. I could be wrong. Somebody remembers it can correct me. Um, but what would happen in the old trucks was you would take your truck to a dealership, and they're like, well, we put it in for a warranty, but we'll have to wait and see if it'll be approved. So it could take 30 days for them to get back to you, and in that 30 days they could tell you no, it's not under warranty. So here you waited 30 days to get the repair done, because you can't start the repair until the warranty is approved or denied, and then you wasted 30 days, and then it was not approved. That is a nightmare because you lost 30 days of lost opportunity of wages, of making an income. And if you're a small trucking business, even a one-man operation, that could be a gross revenue of 15 grand. So who in their right mind is going to wait 30 days to see if the insurance company is going to approve it or not? Very few, if any, people are going to do that. And these are horror stories you hear from truckers all the time. It's like, oh, I got screwed. I had to wait, and then the damn thing wasn't covered under warranty, and I lost all this time, and it's infuriating. Well, and then I think too, back in those days, some owner operators were doing what they call a delete. They were deleting their after treatment system, and Congress actually passed a law, and I'll try to find it and put it in the description when we're done. But they wanted tighter emission control systems, and they wanted it to be tamper resistant, so that small trucking companies, owner operators, couldn't go in there and start deleting the after treatment system. And the manufacturers and trucking organizations, trucking companies, and Congress all got together, and they passed legislation that said, okay, if we're going to come up with these new tighter emission standards and tamper-proof systems, so people don't cheat, they don't delete their systems, then we have to increase the warranty. Ultimately, what Congress wanted was for people to maintain their after treatment systems and take it into the dealerships, so that the professional mechanics can maintain the systems. So this is all environmental stuff, right? So that's why they came out with these extended warranties. Here's one. Opinions of MDMA need to something. I missed that. I try to catch a comment every once in a while. It's hard for me to read. But so Congress mandated that manufacturers provide better warranties. So that's when you started seeing in 2018, the Cascadia 126 models started coming with extended warranties. And believe it was a complete game changer. I mean, it was so awesome. I mean, I paid like an extra $6,000 for the warranty, but let me tell you something. Out of that warranty, I got a new fuel pump when it broke. I got a new DEF pump. I got new after treatment system, a new wire harness for the after treatment system. I got a new dose metering valve. I more than saved twice as much money than what it costs to have the extended warranty. So whenever you're given the option of, hey, this truck has a warranty up to 500,000 miles, do you want the extended warranty that takes you all the way up to 750,000? You're like, yeah, I want that. Absolutely, you want that. That's a great investment. And I would go so far as recommend to guys who are looking to purchase their first truck, do not buy a truck that does not have a warranty. It would put you in the hole financially. It would be a big mistake to buy a truck with no warranty, because odds are, Murphy's Law, whatever could go wrong will go wrong, and you won't have the warranty. And it could, and you're just starting out, you probably don't have a lot of finances, and you get hit with a massive truck repair, like $15,000, it's not under warranty, that could wipe you out. You're just starting out. It can absolutely wipe you out. So if you're going to buy your first truck, always make sure you get the warranty. So I'm trying to read some of these comments, but I can't read them fast enough. I don't know why. It comes and goes. So warranties are very, very important. So to recap, there's national 1-year warranty, there's a local warranty, there's a manufacturer's warranty, and then there's the extended warranty. So you got to learn as much as you can about the warranties, and make good use of them. Always ask before you pay, or always ask before they begin work if it's under warranty. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the internet.